Hello, you're watching Stretford Paddock. We are here for the live team news for Manchester United against Watford. We're just waiting for the team that should be out in 3 or 4 minutes. Before that, get your comments and get your predictions in for who you think will be in the team. Any surprise inclusions? We've got Jacob O.C. saying Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Jacob. We do seem to have some sort of insider knowledge today that it will be Luke Shaw playing left back, no Brandon Williams again. I think a lot of people were expecting to see him after he missed out against Colchester in midweek, usually the sort of game that he would play in. So I think a lot of people assumed that him not playing in that game would mean that he would be playing today. But we are hearing from our sources that he won't be playing today. So there's a little bit of preview for some team news there. But other than that, obviously we're sort of in the dark as everyone else is. Again, the team should be coming out in a couple of minutes. Who would you like to see starting for United today? There's a lot of requests for Greenwood, obviously, after his good performances this season. Alistair says he's the first time he's confident in a while. Yeah, I think United have struggled against sort of the low half teams. Everyone knows that. But Watford away, they've not been the best. I mean, they've literally been the worst this season. So you would hope that if we could pick up points against anyone, it would be Watford. Adam Jacob saying we want to see Brandon and Mason start. As we've said before, it seems as though Brandon won't be starting today. That's what we are hearing anyway. Obviously, we'll have to get full confirmation of that when the team news is announced. Thinking back to some of the players who played against Colchester, and we saw Ashley Young, so we'd assume Aaron Wan-Bissaka will be back in the squad. We saw Matic and Mata, again, both of those you wouldn't expect to play today. So you would think you would probably have that midfield of McTominay, Fred, and obviously as well we saw Paul Pogba getting on the team playing yesterday, just minutes after we released our team preview that suggested that he wouldn't be playing. He then went, and I think it was purposefully spiting us for being slightly late on that team news, and then he was seen getting on the team playing. So it looks as though Pogba will be in the squad today again. Like I said, we'll have to have confirmation of that. I doubt he'll make the starting lineup. Again, let us know in the comments who you want to see playing. We're getting a lot of Greenwood, Pogba to come on at 60 or 70 minutes. I think that might be the best way to see him. Hopefully he doesn't have to come on and get us a winner, because as we saw, was it the Rochdale game or the Arsenal game? I can't remember which one it was now, the one he got injured in. Everton. He sort of had to do a bit more than he should have had to do. So hopefully he won't have to come on and try and force a win. He can come onto a team that's winning and hopefully just stretch his legs a little bit, and we'll see him play that way. Brandon can have his chance. Again, just to reiterate the team, as we said before, we are hearing that Brandon Williams won't be playing today. Again, like I said, that will have to be confirmed anytime now by Manchester United. We're checking their Twitter now. But yeah, Brandon Williams is unlikely to start today, according to our sources. But of course, that will have to be confirmed. We don't need Paul today. Hopefully we won't need Paul today, but we've struggled to create chances against these lower half teams. So I think someone like Paul and his passing and his assist and chance making will be much appreciated. The team news has been... Is it the team is out on the app? Yeah. Okay, the team news is out on the Manchester United app. We're just going to be getting a graphic ready for you. Stephen Hassel passes me his phone here. I can catch him. Oh, he slid it. All right, here's the team. Team news. Right, David De Gea in net. We've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw playing in defence. We've got Fred, McTominay and Lingard in midfield, with Dan James, Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford. I believe that makes that an unchanged team from the last Premier League outing. Junior Meninga saying Twanzebe. Let me go through that team again. We've just heard that. We've got David De Gea, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw as our 5 defenders there. We've got Fred, McTominay and Jesse Lingard in midfield. And once again, it's Daniel James on the right, Marcus Rashford presumably on the left, and Anthony Martial up front. Again there, just reiterating the point, there is no Brandon Williams, something that we broke to just before the team just came out there. Probably our strongest 11, that's according to Neandra. The Lingard is playing, yeah, Adam Jacob, the Lingard is playing. You can check this team news out on the Manchester United app, and it has also been... Check that out for yourself, check it out there. Again, here's the subs. We've got Sergio Romero, Young, Pogba is on the bench as we were expecting, Matic, Mata, Andreas and Greenwood, so no Brandon Williams on the bench at all. So it'd be interesting to see what's going on there. Obviously, we brought you the news early that he wouldn't be playing today, but I haven't heard any sort of update exactly why he hasn't been playing. It seems strange that he was playing so well for the team and getting a lot of games, and now he's not playing against Colchester. And again, he's not playing today, so I'm sure there'll be some sort of news coming out about that over the next coming days, or at least speculation as to why he has been dropped. A very interesting one. Mardragon 7, again, let's go over the team and the bench. We've got David De Gea in net, Wan-Bissaka, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw as our defenders. A midfield holding pair of Fred and McTominay with Jesse Lingard at the 10. And then we've got Dan James, Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial as our front three. And the subs, Sergio Romero, Ashley Young, Nemanja Matic, Paul Pogba, Juan Mata, Andreas Pereira and Mason Greenwood rounding out the subs. So it's just the one attacker on the bench then, as we would expect really. Mata and Andreas kind of supporting that. But again, the big news, Paul Pogba is back in the squad. He's on the bench today, and hopefully we'll get some minutes out of him. Too bad Williams could be Ole testing how he will react. Yeah, it's a good point. We get the team who's on the screen there, so you can all see exactly who is playing there. It's a strange one with Williams. Like I said, we don't know too much on the fine details of exactly why he isn't playing. We just knew that he wasn't going to be playing. Let's go over the Watford team as well, then just so that we can get a good picture of who exactly we're playing. We've got former United goalkeeper Ben Foster in net. We've got Mariappa, Kabasele, Cathcart and Femenia as the defenders. We've got Kapue, Hughes, Sarr, Doucouré, and then they've got Delafeu and Deeney as the more sort of attacking options there. It's a strong team from Watford. Delafeu, as we said, would be their key man in our 3-point preview. You can still check that out if you want to get a bit more in-depth preview and statistics leading up to this game. Delafeu there has caused United problems before. I think he scored against us last season. It's going to be a tricky one. I think, as we all know, United do seem to struggle against these teams. What are your score predictions? Get your predictions in the chat. Jesse should be applauded for his impact, which he created by offering extra space and skills and that extra pass to Rashid. I think we all know that Lingard has obviously been through some sort of difficult times recently, but I think one thing that he always does is he bridges the gap between midfield and attack better than most of our options in that position. Especially with Pogba being out, he's the only one that's got that kind of energy to track back and defend, as well as getting up the pitch and being on those counter-attacks in the 10. Mata can kind of do the passing and he can do the runs in behind, but then he doesn't really have the legs to kind of do it all. I think that's one thing that Jesse definitely can do, and I think his form has definitely improved recently. Deeney will be a threat in the air, and I hope Linda is not bullied again. It's going to be a set-piece thing again, isn't it? How we'll see from that very first corner just how Lindelof and Maguire deal with Troy Deeney in the air, and the likes of Doucouré, Mariappa and Kabasele as well, all big players, all the sort of players that will see United's frailties from set-pieces, and I'm sure they'll try and take advantage of that as well. Smeller Siddons is predicting a 2-1 win. Dan James did a goal. Did he? I don't know when he did, but I'm sure he did. Gutted Williams has been dropped from the bench. Yeah, it's an interesting one. That, like I said, I'm sure we'll hear a lot of updates on that and speculation over the coming sort of hours and days. We may even get someone asking Solskjaer about that, although I'm sure all the pre-match questions will be focused on Paul Pogba and his return. Jacob O.C. is going for 3-2 United. This is one of the only games I'd start with Smalling, with Maguire. You know something? It's an interesting point, isn't it? Smalling, obviously, who's gone on loan to Roma and seems to be... He's one of those players that if he didn't play for United, everyone would be crying out for us to buy someone like Chris Smalling. Solid in the air. United struggle from set pieces. He looks like a threat from set pieces as well. He's got some goals. He's got some assists. He looks like the perfect centre back, really. But obviously, as we've seen over the years at United, he does struggle to play out from the back. But today is one of those games where someone who is much more solid in the air, who is more physically domineering and threatening than maybe Lindelof. Maybe it would be the sort of game for him, but obviously we've gone with Lindelof and Maguire, and I think as a pair they have the sort of highest defended take-on rate in the league. I think they get taken on the least out of everyone, so obviously Lindelof may have his frailties in the air, but I think generally those two have been very secure this season, and we've seen as well when United have had to sit back against the likes of City and Liverpool and Chelsea, that generally speaking, the defence has done quite well, obviously with Wan-Bissaka being the highest tackler in the league as well. Still remember during the good run last year, in the beginning, the front three was Rashford, Martial and Jesse, so keep on playing Jesse. Yeah, exactly. We've seen it from him. It's the thing. The same thing with Pogba, people talking about his performances. But we saw it last season when we won what was it, 11 in 13 or something like that when Solskjaer first came in. Lingard was getting assists and goals, plenty of them then. So I think, we've seen the best out of these players, and hopefully we can kind of climb back up to those heights again very soon. Drew with it going for a 2-1 United win. Sad to see Williams out and wish Axel would be given his chance in the league soon. And also can't wait to see Greenwood come into this game. I reckon he can make a great impact. Yeah, it's almost been strange that we've kind of been relying on him to make those impacts, haven't we, in recent weeks? And he has done so, obviously, against Everton. He got the goal. I think it's 5 goals he's got in the Europa League as well now. So he's obviously someone you can rely on in front of goals. So it's good to have that kind of option. Let's go over the subs again. You can see the team on the screen there. If I just point to it, there it is. The subs are Sergio Romero, Ashley Young, Nemanja Matic, Paul Pogba, Juan Mata, Andreas Pereira, and Mason Greenwood. So there's no Williams, there's no Twanzebe on the bench today. Right, that's going to be all for the team news then. We're going to be back in a little bit for the Watchalong. So me, Stephen Howson, and Ronaldo will be on that. So be sure to tune in for that. Thank you very much for joining me. Get your predictions in, and we'll come back and have a look at some of those comments, and we'll read those out later on. So thank you very much for joining me. We'll see you next time.